Hey there, welcome back to Cooking with Violet Vixen. We're off on another adventure. This time we're doing a little savoury treat. It's called piroshki, and it's basically just a pastry folded over like a mini pasty and cooked in the oven. So I've been gathering up ingredients, chopping and dicing. There is 3 baking trays that you need. You need to grease and line them. Pop your oven on 180 fan force, 200 normal, and get your food processor, get your ingredients. Sour cream to serve, and let's go. I'll talk you through it. All right, enter. So while I was recovering from half a nightmare, I don't have kitchen nightmares, I just take a bit longer. That's why I always go the lower temperature, so I can always keep cooking rather than burn it and have to throw it out. I think I've only had to throw something out once, but I made use of it, so we're good. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, as I said, was the trays and put the oven on. 200 grams of lean beef mince, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 300 grams of button mushrooms finely chopped. It might look like mince, but that is actually button mushrooms once they've been in the food processor. 2 garlic cloves crushed. They're ready. 6 green onions thinly sliced. That's my thinly sliced. 2 hard-boiled eggs finely chopped. They weren't quite hard-boiled, but I don't think it really matters. They are in here with what is hopefully the equivalent of 1/4 cup of finely chopped fresh flat leaf parsley leaves. There's a tongue twister for you if you've never had one. 4 sheets of frozen ready rolled short crust pastry partially thawed. There's 4 here. 1 egg which we're going to lightly beat. And then the sour cream to serve. I've left that in the fridge because it's still hot. It's 8:30 at night and it's still bloody hot. Okay, so we're going to get a large frying pan and we're going to get ready to do all this. While we're cooking, what we need to be doing is find a 7cm cutter. I don't think I have one. However, I always improvise by looking for a glass that is 7 centimeters. That makes a bloody good cutter. So that's all you need, unless you've got a cutter. Most cutters are tiny little cookie cutter size ones. All right, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Okay, so not only is it hot, I'm also tired and running very behind with everything as well. Sometimes you think going out and trying to have a life is a good idea until you get to the next day and you go, why did I bloody go out? Well, so I could get sunburn. All right, 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Why am I using a smaller tablespoon? Because the others are in the washing up. That's a 1/2 tablespoon. Okay, get that nice and hot. Get ready to get that mince in. I'll actually use the cooking spray when I line the trays. I normally try and use margarine if I'm doing a cake, and I use cooking spray if I'm doing something savoury. That way you're not getting something totally different reacting with something. All right, grab yourself a wooden spoon. All right, I'm going to get these done fairly quickly because I have done things like this before. And to be honest, once I got them going in the oven, they're easy. They're a piece of cake. All right. So once again, support your butcher on this one. You'll thank me when you only have to buy 200 grams of mince, not 500 grams. I've still got mince, no word of a lie, in the freezer that I haven't used because I've had to buy 500 grams to use 200 grams or whatever. So you don't have to do the same thing. Listen to me with that one. It's the words of wisdom. Get a plate ready so when it's done we can lift it off. All right. So don't forget while that's cooking to start and do those baking trays. We want 3 in total. So this is going to make 40. Which I sort of feel like I could eat 40, but they're probably one of those things that once you start eating them, you don't want 40. They'll be probably quite filling. So they're good for a dinner party or if you're doing a banquet. Just keep coming back to them to stir them, the mince. Unless you've got self-stirring mince, that's your job as well. It's called multitasking. If you work in hospitality, you'll know what I mean. If you don't work in hospitality, you've got to learn this. Or not. You don't have to work in hospitality. Kitchens can be very fast-paced. Not everyone's a fiddly eater, but with a lot of allergies and things around now, you're getting a lot more of that. I'm fortunate that I work in a takeaway shop when I do work with food, so most things we can't cater for if they're that way inclined. But I always do my best. I like to help people as opposed to turn them away, so that's in my nature though. Alright, when that's all cooked through, your next step is going to be remove that and add your mushrooms and garlic. So turn that down, grab yourself a slotted spoon, try not to throw the mince on the floor. I've got fluffy vacuum cleaners at my house. Those of you that have cats or dogs will know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, now my mushrooms that look like mince, because I've really did say finely chop them. Bit hard to see when that's actually cooked because it looks like it's already cooked. And your 2 cloves of garlic. And I've got extra mushrooms too, which I'm happy about. I love this garlic press. It's so much easier to clean than the one that I had before. Sometimes it's better to invest in better quality things if you're using them more. They last for so much longer. A lot of my cooking stuff was my mama's and dad's, and obviously when she was living with me, it all came with her, so that was good. Saved me having to buy a lot. Okay, we're adding the onions. If you don't like a lot of shallot, you can cut that down, but probably better to leave it at that. All right. Let's see what's next. I don't think we've got much left. Oh, I'm going to get the last tray ready while that's simmering away. Okay, so I'm going to add the mince back in once I've finished this last tray. And then I've got to just add the parsley and the hard-boiled eggs, which I chop them up in the food processor as well. Look, let's face it, if I'm going to use the food processor for one thing, I can use it for 3 things today. So I'm going to pop the mince back in because I do want to make sure that it's cooked right through. And keep trying to chop it all up because the mince is almost the biggest part of this. Now see that has broken down quite nicely, which is really good. So we don't want to put the parsley and the egg in until the end because otherwise the egg's going to start cooking more. Now, I need to find a 7cm cutter. So naturally I go to my glasses first. I've got a 6cm. 6 centimeters are very popular, aren't they? Okay, maybe just a cup. Don't worry, I've got something. It's just a matter of what. Whew. And then a teacup's 8.5. All right. I'll be back with something that fits. Well, I've just checked out half the alcohol glass cupboards. They're either too big or too small. Never mind, I will find something. And of course you want something that is going to be easy to cut with because you've got a trace around it. Okay, in goes the last bit, which is the boiled egg and the parsley. I think I've made scrambled egg. Nothing seemed to go very correct today, so I think the sooner the cooking adventure's over for today, the better. Alright, just a bit longer on that because I don't want to really overcook it. 40 of these things is a lot. Aha. Alright. There you go. Half a measuring cup. That is 7 centimeters. Why didn't I check that first? Alright. Remove this from the heat. So we're going to let it cool for just a little while. Alright. So the theory is, if this makes 40 and I've got 4 sheets of pastry, we should get 10 per sheet. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll give it a whirl. Normally you would think that you would probably get 9 or 12 out of it. Okay. Come and see what happens. Alright, so we want a good sharp knife that we're not going to stab ourselves with. Isn't it interesting? Both knives are curved because of where they've been kept in a knife block. Random questions. Okay, so this is the fiddliest part of the job. If you can, try and cut right through. If you can't, don't worry too much about it. Alright. Well, at least the pastry's nice and defrosted. See, I can't see me getting that many out of it. And you can't re-roll this pastry. Sorry, but I'm not going to try it. What I'll do is I'll just do one batch so that you can see how one batch goes. Because you do get the impression that I am going to be here all night, which is a no-no. This is my dinner, so that's why I said I'll do one batch and then go from there. So 2, 4, 6, 7. So that's 7. No, it might actually be right. 8. 9. No, I'm only going to get 9 out of it. Okay, grab a cup that we can crack the egg into. Whisk that with a fork. Grab a brush. Alright, so just brush these around the outside of the circle, which is actually going to pretty much look like the whole thing. Did I get that one? Alright. Lug over your frying pan. The reason why I say lug over, this one's really heavy. Okay, in each one you want about a teaspoon of the mixture. Pop it in the middle. Now it's entirely up to you whether you want to cook them right through, and by saying that I mean, if you want to put them all in the oven or if you just want to prepare them, if you're not going to use them all, personally, I would prepare them and leave the cooking directions with them. So get them up to the stage where all you've got to do is brush it with egg and it goes in the oven. Leave the notes with it, what you need to do. Okay. So grab your... This is where your big kitchen comes in handy. Just so you can make more mess, that's all. It's not really high on my priorities. I'd love a big kitchen, but then, as I said, I can just make more mess. So they're a very cute looking crescent shaped pastry goodness. And once you've done them, you're going to press the edges together to seal. These are going to cook for 18 to 20 minutes. And then you serve them with the sour cream. So they are fiddly. If you want to, this is a good one to cook, to use, have someone else helping you. Someone can be cutting the pastry, someone can be doing the filling and crimping them. So yes, I'm not going to quite get the 40 out of them. If I sort of maneuvered them around a bit more, I might have been able to. Just watch your mince isn't too hot as well, because that one's just cracked. Don't be too forceful with them. I mean, short crust pastry is a bit more robust than puff pastry, but they are still pretty delicate. Alright, last one. I'm going to put these ones in. The only problem is, and I'll talk to you about if you are going to freeze them after. Okay. I like to actually push them down just to crimp the edges. As I said in the intro, just like a baby pasty or a little turnover, a savoury turnover. And of course, if there's something in these that you don't like, you can change it, change your mince, add some nuts instead of something else, change your veggies. You just want something that will chop up really small, because these ingredients actually have done quite well. And if I do have any left over, it's probably one of those good things for savoury on toast. Alright, these are going in for 18 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, our first batch of piroshki are ready. They've turned out pretty good. So, as I said, once you start on them, they're pretty easy. You just keep an assembly line going. There is some extra pastry left, so you can either freeze that if you want to make another batch, or you can have it with toast or something. Stir some rice through it and make a meal out of it, which might actually be a good idea for me. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'm going to catch you next time. Bye!